games women play with your heart aren't personal, they're predictable. And once something is predictable, it can be outsmarted. Right now, at this moment, you already possess everything you need to never be emotionally manipulated again. Not through tricks or manipulation, but through an ancient philosophy that's transformed men's lives for centuries. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 10 most powerful strategies that will make you emotionally bulletproof. These aren't just theories, they're battle-tested tools that have helped thousands of men reclaim their power and peace of mind. The man who masters these strategies doesn't just survive in relationships, he thrives in them, commanding respect without saying a word. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to become that man. Let's say she's texting you nonstop one day, then disappears for a week. She seems deeply interested, then suddenly acts like you barely exist. She makes plans, then cancels at the last minute with a flimsy excuse. These aren't random behaviors, they're calculated moves in a game that most men never learn to recognize, let alone win. But here's the brutal truth. Women play these games because they work. They've worked on countless men before you, and they'll work on countless men after you, unless you decide right now that you're different. Today, I'm sharing 10 powerful Stoic strategies that will transform how you handle relationships. Not through manipulation or games of your own, but by mastering yourself, your emotions, your reactions, and your mindset. Because when you can't be manipulated emotionally, you can't be controlled. And a man who can't be controlled is a man who commands respect in every area of his life. Over the next 25 minutes, I'll walk you through 10 Stoic principles that will rewire how you see love, control, power, and yourself. You won't just stop being emotionally manipulated. You'll become immune to it, not by becoming colder, but by becoming wiser. Because when you master your inner world, no one else can mess with it. Let's begin. Let's lock in. Strategy 1. Master emotional detachment. The foundation of outsmarting any emotional game is mastering emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let your emotions be manipulated. Let's say you've been seeing each other for a few weeks. Things seem great. Then suddenly she stops responding to your texts. 1 day passes. 2 days. Your mind races with possibilities. Did I say something wrong? Is she seeing someone else? Should I double text her? The average man spirals into anxiety. He texts again. Maybe even shows up where she might be. Each desperate action screams one thing: you have complete emotional control over me. The Stoic man? He notices her absence but continues his day unchanged. Not because he's playing a game back, but because his emotional well-being isn't dependent on her response time. When she finally does reach out with some casual excuse, he doesn't interrogate her or act cold to punish her. He simply engages normally, as if her disappearing act had no effect on him, because truthfully it didn't. This is crucial. Emotional detachment isn't a technique you use to manipulate her back. It's a state of mind where you genuinely aren't affected by these games. You care about her, but you care about your mental peace more. How do you develop this detachment? Start by catching yourself in moments of emotional reaction. When you feel that urge to check your phone for the 20th time, pause. Ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this reaction improving my life in any way? The more you practice this awareness, the more you'll find yourself naturally becoming less reactive. And the less reactive you become, the less power these games have over you. Remember, true emotional detachment isn't forced indifference. It's the natural result of valuing your peace of mind above temporary emotional highs and lows. Strategy 2. Recognize behavioral patterns. Women who play emotional games follow predictable patterns. Once you learn to recognize these patterns, what once seemed like confusing, hurtful behavior becomes transparently obvious. Let's break down the most common patterns. The hot and cold cycle is perhaps the most prevalent. One day she's blowing up your phone, planning future dates, and seeming completely invested. Then without warning, she pulls back entirely. Minimal responses, canceled plans, sudden busyness. Most men miss what's really happening here. It's a deliberate test of your emotional stability. When she pulls back, she's watching to see if you'll chase harder, become needy, or show insecurity. The moment you start double texting or asking what's wrong, you've failed the test. Then there's breadcrumbing, where she gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to satisfy. Maybe she responds just when you're about to give up, or she makes vague plans that never materialize. The validation loop is another classic pattern. She posts something on social media knowing you'll respond. When you do, she either ignores you or gives minimal acknowledgement. She's training you to seek her validation without offering anything substantial in return. Here's how you break these patterns. First, you must recognize them in real time. When she suddenly goes cold after being hot, don't ask yourself what you did wrong. Instead, understand that the pattern is playing out exactly as designed. Second, refuse to participate in the expected response. When she goes cold, don't chase. When she breadcrumbs, don't gobble them up gratefully. When she fishes for validation, don't bite. By simply stepping outside the pattern, you disrupt the entire game. She's expecting reaction A when she does action B. When that reaction doesn't come, the game loses its power immediately. This isn't about outplaying her, it's about refusing to play at all. And that refusal comes not from spite, but from clear-eyed recognition of patterns that don't serve your best interests. Strategy number 3, set boundaries early. Men who get played lack boundaries. It's that simple. When you don't clearly establish what you will and won't tolerate from the beginning, you signal that your standards are flexible, or worse, non-existent. Strong boundaries aren't just protective, they're attractive. They demonstrate self-respect, and a man who respects himself commands respect from others. Setting boundaries isn't complicated, but it requires courage. It means being willing to walk away if those boundaries aren't respected. For example, if she consistently cancels plans last minute, a boundary sounds like, "I understand things come up, but I value my time. If this keeps happening, I'll need to reconsider our plans going forward." You're not angry or emotional, you're simply stating your expectation. If she constantly brings up exes or compares you to other men, a boundary might be, "I'm not interested in discussing previous relationships or comparisons. Let's focus on us or talk about something else." If she plays hot and cold with her communication, you might say, "I prefer consistency in communication. If that doesn't work for you, I understand, but it's important to me." Notice that boundaries aren't ultimatums or threats. They're calm statements of your standards, delivered without anger or neediness. The key is to set these boundaries early before patterns become established. Most men wait until they're frustrated or hurt to speak up, but by then the dynamic is already set. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. When you allow disrespect or game playing early on, you're teaching her that these behaviors work with you. And here's the crucial part. Boundaries without consequences are just suggestions. If you set a boundary and she crosses it repeatedly, you must be willing to enforce it, usually by withdrawing your attention or presence. Your boundaries reflect your self-worth. Set them early, communicate them clearly, and enforce them consistently. The right woman will respect them. The wrong woman will test them. Either way, you maintain your dignity and control. Strategy number 4, stay calm under pressure. A woman playing games is essentially testing your emotional stability under pressure. Can she get you to react? Can she make you lose your cool? Can she push you to a point where you reveal insecurity or neediness? Your ability to remain calm when she's trying to provoke a reaction is perhaps your most powerful weapon. Imagine you're out together and she starts openly flirting with another man. Most guys either get visibly upset, confront her, or try to compete for her attention. All 3 reactions tell her exactly what she wants to know, that she can affect your emotional state. Instead, stay perfectly calm. Continue enjoying your evening as if nothing happened. If it becomes excessive, simply excuse yourself and leave without drama or explanation. This response communicates volumes. You won't be manipulated and you have options. Or consider the scenario where she brings up an ex, perhaps mentioning how successful or attractive he was. Instead of getting jealous or trying to prove yourself, respond with casual indifference. "He sounds interesting," or "I can see why you were attracted to him." Then change the subject. Your calmness in these moments is disconcerting to someone trying to play games. She expects an emotional reaction: anger, jealousy, insecurity, and when she doesn't get it, she loses her leverage. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending not to care. It means processing those emotions internally rather than displaying them externally. You might feel a twinge of jealousy or anger, but you choose not to act from that place. Staying calm requires practice. When you feel yourself getting triggered, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that this is a test. Ask yourself, how would a man who truly values himself respond right now? The calmer you remain under pressure, the more respect you command. And respect, not manipulation, is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Strategy number 5, focus on long-term goals. Most men get caught in relationship games because they lack a compelling vision for their lives. Without clear direction, a woman's attention becomes their primary focus. A man with purpose is nearly impossible to manipulate because his sense of worth doesn't depend on any one relationship. He has somewhere to go, something to build, and goals to achieve whether she's in his life or not. This creates a natural immunity to games. When you're building a business, advancing your career, improving your health, or developing a skill, you simply don't have the time or energy to get caught up in emotional manipulation. More importantly, your goals give you perspective. When she pulls away or tests you, it doesn't shake your foundation because your identity isn't built around her approval. This focus on long-term vision manifests in practical ways. When she doesn't text back for hours, you don't even notice because you're engrossed in meaningful work. When she cancels plans, you use that time to make progress on a project instead of ruminating on what went wrong. Having goals creates natural confidence. There's something deeply attractive about a man who's moving towards something bigger than himself. Women sense this direction and are drawn to it. But here's the key: your goals must be authentic. You don't develop ambitions to impress women. You pursue what genuinely matters to you. The attraction is a side effect, not the primary motivation. Start by identifying one area of your life where you want significant improvement over the next year. Create a clear, measurable goal and break it down into daily actions. When relationship drama arises, use it as a trigger to refocus on these actions. The truth is that a man with purpose might enjoy a woman's company, but he never needs her validation to feel complete. This mindset is your shield against manipulation. Strategy number 6. Avoid emotional retaliation. When a woman plays games with your heart, your natural instinct might be to play games right back. She takes hours to respond to your text, so you take even longer to respond to hers. She flirts with another guy, so you flirt with another girl. She pulls away, so you pull away harder. This emotional retaliation might feel satisfying in the moment, but it's a critical mistake. The moment you retaliate, you've confirmed that her games affected you emotionally. You've shown your hand. More importantly, you've lowered yourself to playing the same games you claim to despise. You've sacrificed your integrity and emotional maturity for a brief feeling of revenge. A Stoic man never retaliates emotionally because he understands a fundamental truth: you can't beat someone at their own game. Women have been mastering these emotional tactics since childhood. They're generally better at subtle manipulation than men, who tend to be more direct. Instead of retaliating, respond with consistent emotional stability. If she takes hours to text back, respond when it's convenient for you, not in a calculated way, but in a way that honors your own schedule and priorities. If she tries to make you jealous, continue treating her with the same respect and attention as before, no more, no less. This steady response demonstrates true emotional strength. It shows that you're not easily provoked or controlled. It communicates that you operate from a place of personal integrity rather than reactive emotion. The next time you feel the urge to get back at her for something, pause and ask yourself, does this align with the man I want to be? Choose your response based on character, not emotion. The goal isn't to win games, it's to rise above them entirely. When you refuse to retaliate emotionally, you create space for authentic connection rather than perpetuating a cycle of manipulation. Strategy number 7. Communicate clearly and firmly. In a world where dating often resembles a game of chess, with strategic moves, hidden intentions, and power plays, direct communication stands out like a lighthouse in fog. Most men either avoid difficult conversations altogether or approach them with such emotional intensity that the message gets lost. A Stoic man communicates clearly, directly, and without emotional charge. When you notice game-playing behavior, address it straightforwardly. I've noticed you've been distant lately. If something's bothering you, I'd prefer you tell me directly rather than pulling away. Or if she's testing you with jealousy tactics, I notice you bring up other guys often. I'm not interested in competing for your attention. Either we choose each other or we don't. This clear communication serves multiple purposes. First, it shows that you're perceptive, you notice the games. Second, it demonstrates that you value honest communication over manipulation. Third, it gives her a chance to correct course if her behavior was unconscious rather than calculated. The key is delivery. Your tone should be calm and matter-of-fact, not accusatory or emotional. You're stating observations and boundaries, not launching attacks. This approach often disarms game-playing behavior immediately. Many women test men because previous experience has taught them that men won't directly address issues. When you break this pattern by communicating clearly, you set yourself apart. Clear communication extends beyond addressing problems. It means being straightforward about your intentions, expectations, and feelings throughout the relationship. If you're interested in something casual, say so. If you're looking for something serious, make that clear. This transparency might seem risky, you're showing your hand after all. But in reality, it's a position of strength. You're demonstrating that you have nothing to hide and no need for manipulation. Practice starting sentences with "I notice" or "I prefer." rather than accusatory, "you always," or "you never." This keeps the focus on your observations and boundaries rather than attacking her character. Remember, clear communication isn't about controlling her behavior, it's about clarifying your standards and expectations. How she responds tells you everything you need to know about her character and the potential future of your relationship. Strategy number 8. Prioritize your own well-being. Your mental peace, emotional stability, and self-respect are non-negotiable assets. The moment you compromise these for a relationship is the moment you lose yourself. Most men make a critical error. They prioritize keeping a woman over keeping their sanity. They tolerate disrespect, game playing, and emotional manipulation because they fear losing her more than they value their own well-being. Stoicism teaches the opposite approach. Your primary responsibility is to protect your mental and emotional health. Everything else, including relationships, must serve this core priority. In practice, this means regularly checking in with yourself. How does this relationship make you feel most of the time? Do you feel consistently anxious, walking on eggshells, or confused? Or do you feel respected, valued, and at peace? If a relationship consistently undermines your well-being, the Stoic response isn't to try harder or tolerate more. It's to recognize that this relationship doesn't serve your highest good. Prioritizing your well-being means setting aside time for activities that restore you, exercise, meditation, time with supportive friends, pursuit of hobbies and interests. These aren't selfish indulgences. They're essential practices that keep you centered and strong. It also means being willing to disappoint others rather than betray yourself. When she pushes against your boundaries or tries to draw you into emotional games, you choose your well-being over her approval every time. This might sound contradictory, but prioritizing yourself actually makes you more attractive. A man who guards his peace commands respect. His well-being isn't up for negotiation, and that quiet confidence is magnetic. Start each day by recommitting to your mental and emotional health. Before responding to texts, making plans, or engaging in difficult conversations, ask yourself, does this support my well-being? Let the answer guide your decisions. Remember, no relationship is worth sacrificing your peace of mind. The right woman will enhance your life, not complicate it with games and tests. Strategy number 9. Practice patience. In an age of instant gratification, patience has become a rare virtue and a powerful advantage in relationships. Most men react immediately to a woman's behavior. If she doesn't respond quickly, they send follow-up texts. If she seems distant, they immediately try to fix the situation. If she tests them, they fail by responding reactively. Patience is the antidote to this reactive cycle. It gives you the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. When she doesn't text back immediately, patience means continuing with your day without anxiety. When she seems to be pulling away, patience means giving her space rather than chasing harder. When she tests your boundaries, patience means observing the pattern before deciding how to address it. This patience serves multiple purposes. First, it gives you clarity. Initial emotional reactions often cloud judgment. Patience allows these emotions to settle so you can see the situation objectively. Second, patience reveals her true intentions. When you don't immediately react to tests or games, she often shows more of her hand, making her patterns more obvious. Third, patience is a display of emotional self-control. Nothing communicates confidence like the ability to wait calmly while others act from emotion. In practice, try implementing a mental waiting period before responding to potentially manipulative behavior. If she says something that triggers you or plays a game that would normally provoke a reaction, give yourself at least a few hours before deciding how to respond. During this waiting period, focus on your own activities and priorities. Often, you'll find that what seemed urgently important becomes less so with time and distance. Remember, patience isn't passivity. You're not ignoring issues or accepting disrespect. You're giving yourself the gift of time to see clearly, respond wisely, and maintain your emotional center. In a world of impulsive reactions, the patient man stands out. He's not easily provoked or manipulated because he controls his timeline of response. Strategy number 10. Choose when to walk away. The ultimate power in any relationship is the ability to walk away, not as a manipulation tactic, but as a genuine choice based on self-respect. Most men stay in situations where they're being played because they fear being alone more than they value being respected. They believe that any relationship, even one filled with games and disrespect, is better than no relationship at all. A Stoic man knows better. He understands that his time and energy are precious resources that should only be invested where they're valued. If a woman constantly plays games, disrespects his boundaries, or manipulates his emotions, he doesn't threaten to leave, he simply leaves. This isn't about dramatic ultimatums or trying to teach her a lesson. It's about quietly recognizing when a situation no longer serves your highest good and having the courage to exit with dignity. Walking away might mean different things in different situations. It could mean ending the relationship completely. It could mean taking significant space to evaluate whether the relationship is worth continuing. It could mean withdrawing your emotional investment while maintaining physical presence until you make a final decision. The key is that the choice belongs to you. You're not walking away to get a reaction from her or to make her chase you. You're walking away because you've decided this dynamic doesn't meet your standards. This decision comes from a place of self-knowledge and calm strength, not anger or revenge. You wish her well, but you choose yourself. The ability to walk away resets the entire power dynamic of a relationship. When you're genuinely willing to leave rather than tolerate disrespect, you rarely need to. The energy you bring to the relationship, one of quiet confidence and clear standards, naturally discourages game-playing behavior. Before exercising this option, ask yourself, have I clearly communicated my boundaries? Have I given this person a fair chance to meet my standards? Am I making this decision from a place of clarity rather than temporary emotion? If the answers affirm that walking away is the right choice, do so with grace. No lengthy explanations, bitter accusations, or attempts to hurt her as you believe she hurt you. Simply state that the relationship isn't working for you and wish her well. Remember, walking away isn't failure. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. The right relationship won't require you to compromise your dignity or peace of mind. In the end, these 10 Stoic strategies aren't just techniques for handling women who play games, they're principles for living with dignity, self-respect, and emotional freedom. When you master emotional detachment, recognize behavioral patterns, set clear boundaries, stay calm under pressure, focus on long-term goals, avoid emotional retaliation, communicate clearly, prioritize your well-being, practice patience, and know when to walk away, you become virtually immune to manipulation. This immunity isn't about winning games or controlling others. It's about mastering yourself, your reactions, your emotions, and your choices. It's about building a life where your peace and self-respect are the foundation, not afterthoughts. The truth is, when you embody these principles consistently, you'll naturally attract women who value authentic connection over manipulation. The games will stop because they simply don't work on a man with this level of emotional mastery. Remember, the goal isn't to become cold or unfeeling. It's to become centered and clear, a man who feels deeply but chooses his responses wisely. A man who offers genuine love and connection from a place of strength rather than need. Start by implementing just one of these strategies today. Notice how it shifts the dynamic not just in your romantic relationships, but in all your interactions. With practice, these principles become second nature, not techniques you use, but the essence of who you are. The power to never be emotionally manipulated again has always been within you. Now you have the blueprint to activate it. If you found value in this video, support the channel by subscribing. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay strong, stay centered, and stay true to yourself.